Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be taking a look at my opinion on geography. Now, I've put together some maps, so let's take a look at the first one, and here's the first one, and these are the continents. Now, first of all, down here we have Antarctica, pretty generic Antarctica, and some of the surrounding waters, but there's Antarctica, of what I consider to be Antarctica. This is South America. There's the Falkland Islands, I believe, down here. There are some other islands, but that's mostly it for South America. North America, of course, has the Caribbean, and it also has all the Central America as well as the three big countries, Mexico, USA, and Canada. And there's also Greenland, which I will include. I also included Hawaii. And this is what I consider America, North America anyway. Then we have Europe over here, which is like a lot of people find all the European countries. On this map, I would also include like Crimea and this. I believe this is Anchorage, something like that. But yeah, Port of Istanbul, and then Iceland, and these islands up here also part of Europe. Then Africa. I mean, this is kind of normal Africa. When I drew this, I didn't include this little part about that. Well, the Suez Canal is part of Egypt. I consider that part of Africa. And it goes down here to some of these islands, like Seychelles, the Northern Islands. Then there's Comoros and Mauritanias, right here. And then we can look at Asia. I mean, generic Asia, I feel like there's not much different until you get down to here. And this is where I consider the really big difference. I know a lot of maps or something might have like Oceania, like maybe like this. Or some might even have it like this. But to me, I consider like all these islands right here, not like Malaysia or Borneo, but I would consider all this Oceania. I know a lot of people don't, but to me, that's what I would consider Oceania. And that's going to be it for the continent map. And next, we're going to be looking at the oceans. And again, pretty generic. Down here we have the Southern Ocean, pretty new ocean. And then the Indian Ocean, I included the Red Sea and the Gulf of Oman and Persia and all that stuff right here. And then also some stuff like over here I included pretty much. It would probably go all the way out to that for Oceania. Or maybe like this. I don't know, I just included that. Then up here, about like this, I feel like is Oceania, or not Oceania, it's the Indian Ocean. Then we take a look at the Pacific Ocean on this side. I mean, everywhere else where it's not. Then we take a look at the Northern Ocean, the Arctic Ocean. And pretty much stretches all of up here, all the way across. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Then we can see the rest of the Pacific Ocean over here. Not really much to say about this side. There's Hawaii. That's pretty much it. Besides for like the countries that border it, like all of this. And that's pretty much going to do it for the ocean map. I mean, of course, there's all the seas in here, like the Black Sea right here. Of course, the big one, the Mediterranean. And then like the Adriatic Sea right there. Then over here, the Caspian Sea. And then the Baltic Sea up here. And then, of course, the North Sea, which I included as part of the Atlantic. And that's really it for like all the big water masses, besides for like some of the lakes in like Africa and stuff like that. And next, we're going to be looking at what I consider to be regions of the world. It's very detailed, so I'm going to start off down here. Basically, like what most people consider Oceania, I would consider that like New Zealand, Australia, some of these bigger islands like Micronesia and Fiji and Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, Nauru, Samoa, Tonga, Tuvalu, all that kind of stuff to be this little region. Next, I included the region of basically Indonesia, East Timor, Malaysia, Brunei, Singapore, all that, and like the Philippines. And not all of Malaysia, but not all of it, as well as not all of Thailand, but there is still a good amount. Next, we see this orange one, which is like southern China, Vietnam area. All right here includes like Taiwan over here. Of course, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, the rest of Thailand, and then China. And then there is a bit of Thailand in this yellow one. This yellow one I consider to be the British Raj, is Myanmar and Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan, like the British Raj area. Then we move on to the Chinese area, I would say, which includes some of Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, Russia, and then this island. Then this is like the Korea and Japan, so like kind of like the early days of the Japanese Empire. Then we see, I would call this the Soviet Union one, that has all of the Soviet Union down into here, all the way up into Europe. Then there's the Nordic one up here that I colored blue, so Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, well, the islands up there, Iceland and Greenland. And then there's a lot of different areas in here, make it simple. The main part of Poland. Then we have all of the Balkan area. We have Italy, some of Austria, some of Germany, some of Switzerland. Then we have like Benelux, German, like Northern Holy Roman Empire kind of thing. Then we have like Western Europe with France and Spain, Portugal. And then we also see that British Isles getting their own one. Now we move down into the big one, Africa. First of all, we see Morocco and some of Algeria right here in this one, as well as Western Sahara. I believe this is Mauritania and Mali. And of course, some of it is down here in this one, which I consider like these are like the smaller countries of Africa, like Benin and Togo, Ghana, Coast d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, all that kind of stuff. And now we're going to take a look at some other kinds. So, we just looked at this area. I don't know what I'd call these regions. And then we see over here, Niger and Chad. I made it their own region. Then there's this west coast of Africa, southern west coast of Africa. Don't really know what you call this, but it includes Cameroon, Nigeria, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, and Republic of the Congo, as well as these two. Then we also see a Central Africa, so Central African Republic, of course. Then there is the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Angola, and Zambia. So we have those. Next, let's look at, this is just South Africa with Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini or Swahili land. Next, this is one with Malawi, Mozambique, so those two, Zimbabwe, and Madagascar, as well as these island nations I talked about earlier, which include like Seychelles, Comoros, Mauritania. I don't know how you say that. Anyway, we move up to here, which is like there's southern parts of this area, but it includes Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Brunei, Uganda, southern parts of Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia, and Ethiopia. Then we actually see those countries in one, as well as Somaliland, if you count it as a country. Then Eritrea, and what is this? I believe it's Djibouti. And then we see this one up here with Egypt and Sudan. And if you remember history, Egypt, Sudan, and South Sudan were all part of one big colony of Egypt, and it had like this triple Ottoman Empire kind of flag, which was pretty cool. And then they broke away in Egypt, and Sudan became a thing. And Sudan broke away and then South Sudan became a place. Then over here we have Libya, Algeria, and Tunisia. So that's like all of Africa. Then moving into one I didn't talk about, the Middle East. This is what I consider the Middle East. Turkey, normal Middle East places, all that. Down here, like the UAE, Yemen, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. I believe there is a very small country, Bahrain. The very small country right here on one of these islands. Right there. And then all of that. Then, so we have all of like the old world basically, plus Oceania. Next, let's get into South America. I used lighter colors down here. So I included Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile in one. A bit of Argentina isn't. Then we see the Brazil one, with all of Brazil, Bolivia, and Paraguay, with part of Argentina. Then a part of Bolivia is in the Peru one, and the Peru region also has Ecuador. Then we head up north with the Venezuela one, taking over Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. Then there is Colombia, Gran Colombia, and Costa Rica. So Panama and Colombia. If you didn't know, Colombia was part of a bigger thing called Grand Colombia, and then Panama was part of it, and then the U.S. tried to make a canal, and then Panama broke away under the influence of the United States to make the canal, and then there's all that. And then we see all the Caribbean countries right here, and that's its own region. The rest of Central America, plus some of Mexico, are grouped as a region. Then the rest of Mexico is its own region. Then we see the rest of North America as part of its own region. So that's Canada and the rest of the USA. And that's pretty much it for the places the regions of the world. This is like the last map I have made, so if there's any other parts of geography that you would like me to explain or give my opinion on, type it in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.